Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Cyrus Webb Presents. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. So glad you guys could join us today. For those tuning in on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and on X, we welcome you. Those tuning in on Instagram, I see you guys coming in over there. Glad you all could join us too. We'd like to connect with our friends over on Amazon so we can welcome back our special guest for today. And she has a lot that's coming up for the rest of this month, going into June. So I'm excited about that. And we're now live on Amazon Live with Cyrus Webb Presents. Glad you all could join us. If it's your first time with us on Amazon, just sent you guys a welcome message. Make sure you guys do hit that follow button. You see it here in this corner or down below. You also will see some of the books by our next guest. We're excited to welcome back Dr. Velma Bagby to our broadcast today. Dr. Velma is the author of the Catch series that began with this book you guys see here, The Catch No One Wants. She also has written several other books, including one that's gotten a lot of attention recently, her ebook, Hold Your Head Up, Princess. We have an update on when that's coming up in paperback, and also a book that she has featuring us guys as well. If you guys are not staying connected with Dr. Velma, we'll let you guys know how to do that. But Dr. Velma, welcome back to the broadcast.
Thank you, Cyrus. Such a pleasure to join you again. Hello, in Mississippi.
Look, glad to have you. Ro Brooks in California. Good to be able to see you. Thorn 7915. Good to be able to see you. Ro, I'm going to hit you up, man. I know we have some things to talk about, so definitely look for a message from me this week. Dr. Velma, a lot of great things are happening for you right now. As I mentioned, you are the
Yeah.
author of the Catch series. That's how you and I connected initially, was through
hmm
that book. But you've also been able to release other books, and including, of course, your best-selling ebook that our audience sees there, Hold Your Head Up, Princess, and others. What is it like for you to see your growing catalog of books, Dr. Velma, and the different audiences you've been able to speak to?
I think that what hit me this year was the ability to add the audio version of the books. That was really exciting to me.
Right.
So to be able to add that to the list of um, formats that some people enjoy writing in the car. I remember working, I used to enjoy the audiobooks going to work because it would take me an hour to drive there. So I'm excited about not only the books that are written, but the
Mhm.
fact that I now have it in a new form, many of them in a new format. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
Some of these books were a surprise to me, like the one you just mentioned, Hold Your Head Up, Princess. I had no idea when I was participating in an anthology that my experience would take me back to that time in my life as a preteen, as a middle schooler, and the things that I was dealing with at the time. It was really surprising to me. So I'm excited to be able to continue to promote this book and then add another format as well.
Yeah. It's interesting you mentioned the format. I'm not
hmm
an audiobook person myself, Dr. Velma. The way I've always learned, I need to see words. So reading, having the written word has always been the thing for me. But I love the fact that you mentioned that there is definitely an audience for that. One of my good friends, that's the way that they're able to enjoy so many books, is they're able to listen to them on their
Yeah.
commute to work, or doing something with the kids. So I want to talk about, though, what you also mentioned about the surprises, because I think the other cool thing about you, Dr. Velma, is, as I said, you've been able to reach different audiences. Now, when I first got to know you, you were promoting this book, The Catch No One Wants, and that deals with marriage, the things that go around dating, relationships.
Yeah.
But now you have books like Hold Your Head Up, Princess, that is definitely not about marriage. And you have,
No.
the other book that you guys can see in the carousel there, Finding Your Voice After Corporate Laryngitis. That's not about that audience.
No.
What has it been like for you to show your range as a writer?
It's just interesting not realizing the many stories you have inside of you. Just a matter of you're sitting down and beginning to write what's on your heart. And in many cases, these are just experiences that just came to life, and I hadn't thought about them in a long time. And then all of a sudden, it becomes a story, and a story that's interested to a lot of people because
Yeah.
it's real life. So I'm excited to be able to tap into these other areas of my life. And like you said, I am a visual learner too. When it comes, I don't like, sitting in a classroom where somebody has to tell me everything I'm supposed to do. I need a visual. I need to see the picture. I need to paint a picture. I need to see it visually so that I can do that. But when it comes to audiobooks,
Mhm.
I enjoy them as entertainment.
Hmm.
Now, if it's something that you're trying to teach me, I wouldn't learn from an audio version of that book. So I'm
Yeah.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
So I just love the fact that it gives a person more opportunities
Sure.
to hear the story differently versus reading it yourself, but hearing it in the voice
Mhm.
of the person that's actually narrating, it comes across differently.
Right. I want to go back to the beginning, and you and I didn't do this when we first start working together, Dr. Velma. Honestly, because I didn't know your backstory. I came into your life with the Catch No One Want, so I didn't know anything about your life in corporate. I didn't know anything
Hmm.
about definitely I didn't know anything about your upbringing. But I want to share something with our audience because I think this again is going back to Hold Your Head Up, Princess. What you share in that story in chapter 2, you say my experience begins with the motivational words my parents spoke to me
Hmm.
and throughout my life. My mom
Yep.
said, walk with your head held up unless you have something to be ashamed of. In essence, through these words, she encouraged me to be proud of who I was and to embrace my worth. I want to stop there because
Hmm.
that really goes to the Dr. Velma we now know in
Yep.
2025. So, how did having that example of your parents help you to be able to speak life into yourself, Dr. Velma?
Again, it wasn't until I began writing this story that I recognized what my mother was trying to tell me. Now
Mhm.
I'm a grown person, been grown for a long time, winking at 71 right now. And so to write this story is when I really recognized, man, this was all on purpose the entire time. I didn't understand it at the time she told me, but I thoroughly understand it now. It was
Mm.
her way of, like I said, when I was writing this is when it all came out of me. It was
Mm.
her effort to tell me to hold on to who I am. And
Yeah,
so it's so important for any middle school child to know that even though they may not know what their future is, they
right.
have to understand that it's going to be bright and it's exciting. But in that moment, you may not understand it. But my mother said that to me, and it stuck with me, along with having big lips and all of that in that season and time wasn't popular. All of that I had to carry on my shoulders, along with the nickname that my father gave me, which was Princess, because I was his first daughter
Yeah,
after having boys. And so that was his term of endearment as well. So all of those things, I began to examine them closer. I said, this meant more than what I realized at the time.
yeah. So true. Angela Anderson, hello to you over there on IG of Angela Anderson Presents. Seeing
Hmm.
Angela makes me think of this question, Dr. Velma. So now you have had examples in your life, but you've also connected yourself with different individuals, different women in particular of different generations. I think of Angela Anderson, who connected the two
Hmm.
of us. You have Jacqueline Cox, who you've been able to work with, Melissa Banks, who you've been able to work with. What has that been like for you to connect with other like minded individuals, and particularly women? Who are of different generations, but you guys share this common goal and theme of empowerment.
Oh, you just mentioned some very sharp women. You mentioned some very powerful women. And to be able to connect with these individuals,
Mhm.
that blessed my life. Angela, very early on in my stage, she blessed me more than she would ever know. So I
Mhm.
took advantage of everything she had to offer just
Mhm.
so that I can learn and grasp and grasp her knowledge and understand. She's powerful and she has so much to pour into me.
Mhm.
And so it is with some of the other women that you just mentioned.
Mhm.
Melissa thinks I'm her best friend, but she's really my best friend because I learn a lot from her as well.
Mm.
Same with Jacqueline. She's younger than me. She's around the age of my oldest daughter. But that girl has so much wrapped up inside of her. I can't believe how much she's able to accomplish and get done. She's so wise and talented. So,
Mhm.
all those people you mentioned are people who are special to me because of who they are. And
Yeah.
what I love about each of them that you mentioned, these are women who are not prideful women. They are who they are and they walk out who they are. They know who they are and they know what they know.
Yeah.
And they don't make a big deal about it, but they just operate in who they are. And I'm grateful to have the connection with each of them.
Yeah, and I know they feel the same way. So, Dr.
Mhm.
Velma, you and I did connect through Angela with this book,
Yeah.
The Catch No One Wants. I'm bringing this up because you're gearing up for the second season of
Yes.
your podcast, Dr. Velma Talks, that deals with dating, marriage, relationships. What has that been like for you to have people come to you? We talked about Hold Your Head Up, Princess, which has its own audience, a younger audience. What's
Hmm.
it like for you now to have people come to you around topics of dating, marriage, and relationships when it comes to the Catch series?
Oh, I'm still getting questions. I'm still getting interest in that topic. And not
Mhm.
only that, the 70s love story, we didn't mention that one, the,
Mhm.
the way in which my husband and I met over 50 years ago. in that particular ebook, somebody asked me a question about difficulties in our marriage and was there any time? And I said, absolutely, there was a time. I thought I was going to give it up. I thought I was going to let it go. I thought I was done.
Mm,
And I said that my aunt came to me and told me, what are you going to do with all the years you poured into this man? It's an investment. You're going to turn your investment over to another person. You should have seen my face, Cyrus. Now you just opened my eyes, Aunt Marie.
uh,
I'm not turning over my investment to anybody. So I
yeah,
hung in there. And so I'm going to be including that in the future book, My 70s Love Story 50 Years Later, because it's important that the questions are still asked. What do you do if? What happens when? And
yeah.
so all of those questions will be answered. And I'm just excited to be able to do that.
Yeah. We haven't actually it's ironic since you and I started with the Catch series. We really don't talk about it that much lately, but
Yeah.
because you're gearing up for season 2 of Dr. Velma Talks, I
Hmm.
think it was important to bring this back up because it all began for me. My introduction to your writing was with
Yes. Yes.
Grace and Veronica.
Yes.
you know, that's how I got to know you through these
Hmm.
characters. Talk
Hmm.
to us about what that's been like for you, because even on the back of this book, it's ironic. Just to show you how time has passed. At the time that this book came out, you were celebrating 48 years of marriage.
Yep.
At that point, what's it been like for you to see the way of the past couple of years, Dr. Velma, that readers have taken to these characters and what they've shared?
They have loved them. My favorite is one of my readers, and I know you know her, Wendy. She says, "I'm buying all of these books for my sons."
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, wow, that's really interesting. To me, I was shocked by the reaction, to be honest with you. I thought I was writing one book and that was going to be it, that novel, and then I likely would move on to something else. But it
Hmm.
turned out it was so popular, people wanted to know more. And
Yeah.
then when the men reached out, they wanted to know, okay, what about the wrong women to date? So I had to address
Hmm.
that as well. So it was
Yeah.
exciting.
I have my book here.
Yeah,
Not that I'm using it as a guide or anything currently,
I'm
but I
not
do,
talking to you.
but I do have my copy of the book
Melissa and I
here.
have already talked about our plan to
Well,
kidnap you and take you into a session.
look, I've got a highlighter for those who do need it in the carousel on Amazon.
Don't tell her I slipped and told you.
Hey, look.
So
Well, look,
be
you just told the
careful.
world. You just told the world, Doctor. Hey, look. This isn't one of our one-on-one sessions.
Right.
Melody says, "Hey, Melody, good to see you over there on
Hey,
Facebook. Mel says
Melody.
I can't wait to get mine either." So let's talk about though this other book I have next to me, and that is the 30-day Wild Journal. I'm going to highlight
Yes.
it for those
Yes.
on the in the Amazon side.
Hmm.
For you guys over there, you guys can get it in print for only $10, or you can maybe get the Kindle edition as well. I love that this book again you tie it into the Catch series, but this is going back to
Hmm.
nonfiction. Dr. Velma, talk to us about what inspired the Wild Journal.
It was interesting because I had to do the research to make sure in a series can you use multiple genres, and I found out yes you can, and that freed me. That said, okay, this needs to be a part of the series because in the stories, hey Melissa, we just talked about you.
Mm-hmm.
In the stories, we Grayson, the character, which is modeled after my husband, he talks to the women about what they need to do to prepare themselves, not only about, being aware of the wrong men today, but also taking the time to examine yourself, making sure you're ready to be that person you need to be for that guy. And so I thought it would be a nice time to pause and talk about what he referenced in the book, and that is understanding and valuing who you are. It's not about when does he walk into your life and when does he show up. Are you ready? Make sure you embrace who you are right now, because that's not his job to come in and fix you and help you believe that you are worthy and valuable. It's important that you know that already. So that's why that book was important to me to really present that. And I'm excited that I was able to get 30 different women to give their own perspective about their value statement. And so those 30 women are the ones who created that wild journal. And I'm excited to have that.
Mm-hmm. And you did that project along with Miss Queenie Clem, another great literary
Hmm.
influence that you've been able to be connected with
Yes.
for sure. So, Dr. Vam, I want to talk about the broader thing here. I mentioned the podcast earlier. You have two podcasts
Hmm.
that you are the host of, Dr. Velma Talks, that I mentioned That's going to be coming back for season 2 here. But you also launched your podcast, Finding Your Voice. Talk to us about that, because I kind of correlate Dr. Velma Talks. I think about the Dr. Velma who people know for the Catch series and that kind of
Yes.
thing, versus Finding Your Voice. I really see that as the 30-day wow, Dr. Velma, as well as the Hold Your Head Up Princess, and and also the other book you have there, Finding Your Voice After Corporate Laryngitis, meaning a broader audience. So, what has
Hmm.
it been like for you to have your very niche audience when it comes to dating and marriage and relationships with the Dr. Velma Talks podcast, but then I have a broader one with Finding Your Voice?
It's very similar. The process of discovering your mate is very similar to the process of running your business or creating a brand or stepping into what you believe God has for you to do.
Mm,
All of that is very similar. The journey is similar, but sometimes, just like in dating and relationships, in business and discovering what it is you should be doing at this time, or you may be doing it and you got discouraged, and maybe you had failure or some failures or a glitch.
mhm,
We all need inspiration. We all need to
yeah,
be encouraged and inspired. And sometimes it takes somebody that has already gone through the steps that you're in right now to share with you what they did to get out of it, how they
mm,
moved past it and are still being successful. So I thought it would be great. And actually, somebody told me it would be great. I'm not going to tell you who told me, Cyrus, but they thought it would be great if I had that
yeah,
platform, because I remember that moment in
mhm,
my walk as an author. I didn't have anybody to go to. I didn't know where to go to. I didn't know who to call. And so it's nice to be able to have a platform. We have experienced folks come on the platform and tell you about their journey, where they experienced the hiccups and difficulties and how they overcame them, so that those tips will help you and give you advice on
yeah,
when you hit those walls, what to do. And maybe the wall is intended to move you in a different direction. So much wisdom that comes from talking to those who have gone through those experiences. And so the audience gets to take away all of that after
yeah,
each episode.
right. So true. Have you gotten? I know you did a podcast or show before Dr. Velma Talks that you brought in this iteration. Is that a hat that you enjoy more than writing, or do you get a different feeling as a talk show host than you do as an author?
After years of being a trainer, a
Mhm.
facilitator, none of it isn't any different to me.
Okay.
The only difference is you're sitting in front of a camera instead of in front of a large audience.
Okay.
So it's a comfortable place for me. What I did not know is this is where I needed to be.
Mm,
The nudging that I got helped me to rediscover that's who I was, because when I retired, all those skill sets I thought I was going to box or put it away, put it in a box, send it, put it in the garage, saying all those skill sets are retired. And God said, no, you're not,
mhm.
because He used you to help me to see these are avenues that are important, because there's still people out there who could use this help and could benefit from it.
Yeah, yeah, and that is so true. There are, and
Hmm.
we all need that nudging in our lives. Nudging is healthy, I think. Yeah, nudging is healthy. I think I think that is a good thing, as long as you're not telling people what to do, because I don't believe in that personally.
Okay,
I
well,
but
I'll
nudge,
leave that up to the people who are listening. Does He tell you what to do, or does He nudge you into
I
what to
nudge. I'm a
do?
nudger, Doctor.
Okay.
That's so I do.
Whatever it is working. Sometimes I
Oh,
have to
what?
say, Okay, God, you sent this man into my life. Now my husband likes him
Oh, there
too.
you
He's a
go. There
friend
you go.
of my husband's too. So what's going on that he's nudging me this way?
Yeah. And look, that is a great segue. You brought up your husband. That's a great segue to the new project you have coming up for June. See how we did that? See how we are able to
Yes.
now here's Melissa say the truth will set you. No, no one
All
told you to
right,
quote any
Melissa.
scriptures around here, Melissa. We know no, okay. So that brings up a great segue, Dr. Velma. You mentioned your husband. So you mentioned My 70s Love Story. You shared your story there. Now the two of you, you have the 30-day Wow Journal, Women of Worth Journal. Talk to us about this new project you're planning on releasing in June.
Yeah, my husband and I had some conversations around what would be best for the men, because I wanted to follow up that book, um, She'll Tear Down the House.
Hmm.
That was for men. So this would be the follow up, very similar to what the Wild Journal did for the women. This would
Hmm.
be a follow up for the men. It's called um, Wisdom from Men for men. And these are men who I'm thankful to be able to tap into their wisdom and guidance so that they can offer another man. And so their statements are wisdom statements. So it's not affirmations. And I wanted to come from a male perspective. So my husband and I are working on that. We created the list of who we thought would be great participants for this and began reaching out to those on the list asking, can you offer us a wisdom statement for this new book? And then a small paragraph explaining what that means. These would be statements that another man, young man reading it could benefit from them. And so
Yeah.
already from what we're getting back, the responses, they've been really, really juicy. And it's
All right.
just for the men. So the perspective and the place that they're coming from is not like a wild journal or affirmation. These are men saying, look, this is the statement. Here's why you need to know. Here's why you need to do this. And I think
Yeah.
it's really profound because I could see single mothers grabbing this book and buying them for their sons because
Mm,
maybe these are things that they haven't heard before. No male in the house. But
right.
this is a way to tap into what another man has to say that's been wisdom for them that they've carried throughout their lives.
Right. Love that. Love that. And I think it's such a great thing. Dr. Velma doesn't know this, but I was invited to be a part of this. One of the statements I wrote is about love.
No.
Dun
What?
dun dun. So, but,
Okay,
but
you heard
I,
it here first.
yeah, exactly. You hear it there first. But I think Dr. Vilma, I was really excited. First of all, thank you for your husband and you invited me to be a part of this. I was excited
Mhm.
about it. And I think this is going to be something that is needed. I'm excited about us being able to talk about it on
It
platforms like
is.
this.
It
So a
is.
lot of great things coming up. So for our audience that are just tuning in, so this is what we've been talking about. The second season of Dr. Velma Talks is coming up. So I always want to change that title, but I think I got it right. Dr. Velma Talks. I used to want to call it Dr. Velma Speaks. But Dr. Velma Talks season 2 is coming up. She has a new book she just talked about, of course, for the guys. It's coming up as well. She's going to be releasing the paperback edition of her book, Hold Your Head Up, Princess. That's going to be coming out very soon as well. So a lot of new things. And in fact, of course, you guys can still be able to catch up with the other projects too. But Dr.
Mhm.
Bam, let our audience know how can they stay connected with you and kind of keep up with all the updates.
Oh, well, I'm on all the social media platforms as Dr. Velma Bagby, but I would encourage you to subscribe to my YouTube channel because you can set a reminder and it will automatically remind you when those episodes are preparing to air. So that's a wonderful feature to have. So any of the social media platforms, but specifically if you want to stay connected to the upcoming podcast, please subscribe to my YouTube channel.
Love that. Dr. Bam, another great conversation with you. So
Thank you,
excited about
Cyrus.
all the great things that are coming up and looking forward to our next chat together.
Absolutely. Same
All
here.
right. And we
Thank you
think
for
you're
having me.
hey, glad to do it. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Cyrus Webb Presents. Until next time, you all make it a great one. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Melissa, call me.